The outgoing chairman of the Chamber of Commerce says the state of the island economy is good, with positive developments this year for the two pillars of tourism and military spending. Jeff Jones, president of Triple J Enterprises, says Guam's visitor industry is poised for another banner year, with projected arrivals looking to reach the second highest level ever.
And GBB's and GHRA's focus on the tourism industry has allowed the Chamber the flexibility to work on attracting more federal and military spending, as well as looking at other opportunities to attract new industries to Guam.
Jones says economic studies have shown that military spending and investment is good for local economies, as even beyond the initial buildup, there is steady and consistent growth associated with the resulting military presence. He says the Chamber has worked hard to promote those ties.
The Armed Forces Committee continues to work tirelessly to build relationships with both local and regional commands, as well as at the Pentagon and on Capitol Hill. Our annual trip to Hawaii and D.C. this year was probably the most positive trip we've ever had. Everybody was on the same page as far as the rebalance to Asia was concerned, as well as the Guam buildup.
But Jones says with our isolated island economy, we should continue to try and diversify.
Even with tourism and military spending going well, we only have two legs on our economic stool. And if you know, it's hard to sit on a stool with two legs. That is why we really need a third industry to strengthen our economy.
He sees potential new industries coming to Guam if the massive trade pact known as the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement were to win congressional approval. The TPP involves more than a dozen countries, representing 40% of the global economy, but it faces a tough vote on Capitol Hill.
And even though Guam is not covered in that agreement, we feel there still may be advantages for us due to our proximity to Asia, as well as our stability in the region, military presence, as well as U.S. banking laws, U.S. laws in general, and our U.S. currency. Not to mention our telecommunications capabilities and unused capacity.
The Chamber chairman says to attract new industries, Guam also needs to ensure we have the skilled workforce. That's what will translate into better wages, he says, and better living conditions.
The number of people on public assistance continues to increase, even though our economy is growing and even though unemployment is down. This problem cannot be fixed by just increasing the minimum wage. For we know that based on supply and demand, that when you increase the cost of something, the demand for it will go down. What we need to do is create better jobs that will pay more and make sure our workforce is trained and ready to fill those positions.
Meanwhile, Jones says the Chamber added 53 new members this year, bringing its total membership to 441. 75% are small businesses. Jones says it's always been the Chamber's role to push for a more business-friendly environment. This year, they launched a legislative review committee to be the Chamber's eyes and ears for any government actions that may impact business.
This committee had the daunting task of monitoring and reviewing possible legislation that would impact business either positively or negatively, and then drafting testimony accordingly. All in all, we feel that the establishment of the Legislative Review Committee this year has been very effective. Compared to previous years, we saw an increase in interest of lawmakers to make a more collaborative dialogue on issues, including input or recommendations on proposed legislation. That said, the legislature always keeps us on our toes, and we must be vigilant in our monitoring of proposed legislation.
Finally, Jones said over the years the Chamber has been criticized by some as a group only interested in making money. While that is true, he says, there is a lot more to it.
If we don't make money, then where will it come from? The government doesn't make money, they just spend it. All the profits in the economy comes from commerce. And as the Guam Chamber of Commerce, we must never lose sight that our primary purpose and mission is to protect the interests of business so that they continue to grow, prosper, and contribute. Thank you very much.
For KOAM's Business Matters, I'm Nestor Leconto.